My childhood was very different from most of you. Growing up in a remote place in India, I did not have access to a TV, computer or internet. As a result, I was largely cut off from rest of the world. Due to my limited exposure growing up, there were a lot of things that I did not know about in my 20s. As the Germans would say, we grow old too soon and get smart too late. I eventually learned these things the hard way, very late in my life. Throughout my 20s, I used to resent my childhood thinking that if only I had modern technology and better education growing up, I could have done much better with my life. What I did not realize was that all the time that I spent not playing video games and not surfing the internet would pay off big time in my 30s. That too in a way that I could not have even imagined. Now that I am more than 30 years old, I want to share everything that I've learned so far about this beautiful jigsaw puzzle that life is. When I was in my 20s, I used to think that every door that you walk through in your life is a one-way door. Once you enter, the door slams shut behind you and there is no way to go back. If you end up in a bad college, you are screwed. Got a bad GPA? Nobody would hire you again. In reality, most doors in your life are two-way doors. Once you enter, you can choose to go back. And sometimes, there's even a side door that can lead you to a better place. But in today's day and age, when everybody's sharing these carefully fabricated highlights on LinkedIn or Instagram, there's so much pressure to be successful in your early 20s. Many people buckle because they think they have fallen behind others in life. Most give up on their aspirations and stop working hard in life. I was in the exact same situation when I graduated from college as a mechanical engineer. I applied to hundreds of jobs that I was not even interested in, got only one company to interview me, where I was rejected by the recruiter on the phone call. I had spent 6 years learning mechanical engineering and felt like there was no way for me to go back. And that's when I found this side door of programming. I spent every waking hours for next few months learning programming and got my first job within 6 months. That job led me to my first big break in Amazon, and my time at Amazon helped me get my current job at Google. And just like that, within 3 or 4 years, I was able to turn my life around. If you're in a similar situation, I want you to know that your professional career is going to be 30 to 35 years long, and 2 or 3 bad years in your 20s would not have much effect in the grand scheme of things. As I already mentioned, I spent 6 years doing mechanical engineering. That's 4 years of undergrad and 2 years of masters. In my second year of undergrad, I had already realized that mechanical engineering was not for me. I was not enjoying the curriculum and the internship opportunities were also very limited. But I did not take any action on it. At the end of my undergrad, I could not find any interesting jobs. I told myself, maybe it's just in India and the US would be different. I have already spent 4 years on this. Let me give it another chance and do a master's in US. That, my friend, is called sunk cost fallacy. Just because you have spent your time and resources into something doesn't mean that you have to persist with it, even when you know that it's irrational to do so. At the end of my master's, I was in the exact same situation that I was in at the end of my undergrad. Part of me was telling me to go on and do a PhD in mechanical, but I was a little older and a little wiser this time. I decided to start over from zero and began learning programming. And that's the second best decision I've ever made in my life. I'll share the best one shortly in this video. After I switched to programming, I spent hours honing my skills. I learned the basics, built projects, and sharpened my interviewing skills day in and day out. When I felt confident, I started applying for jobs. In my head, I was thinking that I'm someone who's completely self-taught, and most hiring managers would appreciate someone who's as motivated and hardworking as me. To my surprise, I was rejected more than 500 times. I could not believe that I was getting rejected even after performing so well in the interviews. That's when one of my friends, who had referred me for a job in his team, asked his manager why I was not being hired. She simply said, "He doesn't have enough experience." That's when I learned about this hard truth that universe doesn't care about your dreams. If you want something in life, go get it. And the best way to get what you want is to deserve it. You can sit there and complain all you want about people not giving you a chance because you didn't go to a great college or because of your GPA. That's never going to help your case. Understand the rules of the game, stay within those rules, and keep working hard. And as Mahatma Gandhi famously said, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. But remember, fear is your biggest enemy. When you think about fear, The moments that come to mind are the ones where your heart is racing fast, you're sweating profusely, and you can't think straight. In life, it's rare to have such intense moments of fear. The fear that you need to be aware of is a subconscious fear that easily convinces you not to take that big leap and settle for less. When I picked mechanical engineering as my major in IIT Delhi, I also had a choice to pick computer science, which only top 100 people in India get. At the time, I convinced myself by saying that mechanical engineering is my passion. What I did not realize at the time was that I was making this decision out of fear. In reality, I made this choice because I had never owned a computer in my life until then. And somewhere deep inside, I felt that if I don't know how to use a computer, how would I do computer science? And that's how I made one of the biggest mistakes of my life. As they say, first time it's a mistake, second time it's a choice. When I was having second thoughts about starting this YouTube channel out of the fear of judgment, I could counter my fear this time by thinking rationally. I prepared myself for the worst case, which in this case was some people laughing at me. It looked like a risk worth taking, and now we are a family of more than 250,000 on YouTube. Starting this channel was the best decision I have ever made. Here's an exercise for you. Can you tell me one intelligent thing that you didn't read or hear from others? One thing that you actually came up with by yourself after deep thinking. You can pause the video and leave a comment. I would really like to know. It's surprising how most people are not able to name even one thing. That's because in this information age, we have outsourced the job of thinking to others. We believe that watching videos, listening to podcasts, or reading books will make us smart and somehow result in a very successful life. In reality, information is democratized now, and you have no comparative edge over others if you're consuming the same things. And following the herd invites regression to the mean. To put it simply, if you do what everyone else is doing, you are bound to have mediocre results. What will actually propel you to success is to consume less and absorb more by developing your own opinions about things. And for that, you need to give some time to deep thinking. We live in a hustle culture where guys like Elon Musk and Gary Vee have popularized the idea that it's all about working hard in life. But for a moment, imagine this. Let's say you want to climb a very high wall. You set up the ladder and give everything you have to get to the top, only to find out that the ladder is leaning against the wrong wall. In other words, you can work as hard as you want. If you've chosen the wrong path, you will never reach your destination. That's why deciding what to work on is equally, if not more important than working hard.
If I make like 3 good decisions a day, that's enough.
Strategizing and decision making are some of the most useful skills. I receive so many messages from people who have worked so hard to learn programming languages that are not in demand in current market, and now they can't find job. I empathize with them, but these situations can be easily avoided if we pay more attention to our decisions.
Today is difficult. Tomorrow is much more difficult. The day after tomorrow is beautiful. Most people die tomorrow evening.
That's Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba. He does not have a particularly good English or use any fancy words when he speaks, but he sure knows how to wow an audience. I don't care which profession you are in, your success at work will be largely determined by your communication skills. And I don't mean communication skills in any particular language. In fact, I myself did not know how to fluently speak in English until 2014. But what I've always known is how to tell stories. That's because when you don't have a TV or computer at home, you spend all that time on the streets talking to people. And that's where you learn real communication skills. Now, I'm not claiming that my communication skills are out of this world. In fact, many people complain about me being monotonous and boring in the comments. But I'm at least working on my skills by making these videos for you guys. Anyway, a great way to improve your communication skills is by writing down your thoughts. So here comes a challenge for you. Summarize this video in your own words and share your learnings on LinkedIn. If you want to participate in this challenge, you can comment #ITellStories down below. As I mentioned, good communication skills are a must to have a successful career. Another thing that can help you have a great career is studying efficiently in your 20s. If you want to know how to study more in less time using Chinese technique of Wu Wei, watch this video. My name is Sahil and I'll see you in the next one.